What's up, you guys? It's Legendary Sports, and today I'm going to talk about the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl. Maybe one of the best Super Bowls I've seen. I mean, of course, granted, I haven't been alive that long, but maybe the second best Super Bowl of all time. Maybe even the best. Ice Bowl, maybe number one, but what a great Super Bowl. I mean, I came into picking the Patriots thinking Russell Wilson and company wouldn't score as many points as I thought they would. But they had some big plays by of course, by Matthews, which nobody knew that guy. Nobody was said, oh, they're going to go make huge plays down the field with Matthews. No one said that. No one could have predicted that. I mean, it was just a crazy Super Bowl. Of course, I loved it. It was a great Super Bowl to watch. I mean, I think it was the most watched Super Bowl in Super Bowl history. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, we had Katy Perry on a star. We had her with sharks and stuff like that. Crazy, crazy. But of course, the controversial thing that everyone's talking about is the last play of the game. Which, of course, granted, I would have ran the ball as well. Marshawn Lynch had looked like he was about to score on that last play, and I was predicting, I was like, he's gonna run it in. I mean, that's it. It's game over. And I think maybe because of that, I think since everybody was expecting the run, Pete Carroll called, or the offensive coordinator called the pass, which he even said they had a play, to lose, but why not go for like the outside route, the fade, Matthews was doing great the whole game. Why not give him one more chance to make a play or something like that? But a slant real quick. That was a great play by Butler. Just a crazy. He saw it. He read the route. Russell Wilson, instead of putting it, he put it in front of him instead of maybe behind him into his chest. It was just crazy, crazy, crazy. The Patriots, they played great. And so did the Seahawks. The Seahawks played great too. Both teams, of course, there was some mistakes. There was some blown calls, especially in the first quarter when the roughing the kicker wasn't called. I don't remember who it was, but I remember one of the Patriots tripped a guy. He fell and he lunged out and tripped a Seattle receiver, and they didn't call that. There were some missed calls and stuff like that, but overall, great game. The Patriots, the first half, I think they dominated. It was weird to see that the Patriots just looked so dominant in the first half, but the score was still 14-14. Seattle was, they were magnificent as well. Props to them. You can't take anything away from Seattle, especially, their downfield coverage, outstanding by Seattle, and at the first part of the game, as are most of the time, New England as well. But Seattle's just downfield. That's why Bill Belichick was having so many routes that were only like 5-10 yards. They weren't going downfield. They weren't trying to force it. They were just playing with Seattle early on. They were real efficient. And Brady made that pick. He made two picks, and the first pick, it was a terrible throw. I remember looking at it and was like, where was he throwing it to? He just got rid of it, which is understandable. It's all right. But the second pick was a great play. You can't take anything away. That was just a great play, and it just didn't go in favor of the Patriots. And going down, it was just most of the game, New England's defense contained Marshawn Lynch most of the time. He broke up. I think he was breaking a couple runs here and there, but they contained him most of the time. And overall, New England basically they deserved to win that game. They dominated the first half. The fourth quarter, they played better. They played better in the fourth quarter. The third quarter is when it was shaky. That was when they went up by 10. The Seattle went up by 10. And that was when I was like, I don't know. It's Tom Brady, but still, if they don't score on the next drive, and they could lose, they could lose easily. Pete Carroll, worst call of all time. I, it's pretty. I think so. I mean, can you believe? I mean, you have the best running back in the NFL, and you don't give him the rock. I mean, just it must be frustrating for Seattle fans. I mean, it must be frustrating to know that you're right there on the 1 yard line and you can't score. I mean, and you couldn't score. Instead of running the ball with your beast, you throw it. I mean, it was an amazing game. I can't talk more. I can't say that more. But also, Seattle at the end, they were getting a little at the end, with the penalties and stuff like that. That was, it was kind of uncalled for. But you got to think also. I mean, if you were in that situation, you'd be pissed too. But I mean, Russell Wilson handled it with class. He went out. I mean, you could see he was really pissed off, but he walked away with class. I mean, he didn't throw a fight like Seattle did. And overall, I mean, Richard Sherman played a great game as well. Darrelle Revis for that one touchdown by where he got picked by the ref, which was a great route by Doug. No, nothing to that, but the ref got in the way and Revis couldn't do anything about it. There were just things that there was just nothing you guys could do. Especially, I was thinking that it was going to be the same thing like when the Giants did to the Patriots. When they destroyed their perfect season with Curse's, or I hope I'm saying that right. His catch. I mean, that when I saw it, I was like, it's over. I was like, this is the same. They're gonna beat New England because that's just it's just a miracle play. I was like, there's just nothing you can do for that. I mean, just look at it. It's just a crazy play, and it was crazy that Butler was the guy covering him, and then he comes up with that big play. I mean, that must be an amazing feeling. I mean, I'm so hyped right now. I mean, it was just so great. The play calling was all great. The coaching was great. The players were great. I mean, can you believe it? New England had one of the best rosters ever that they've ever had, and they were beating them in time of possession, yards, almost everything except for rushing. I know rushing they weren't beating them in, but they were holding on for dear life against Seattle. Holding on, trying to win for dear life when Seattle was about to run away with it. I mean, Seattle was just great. They were just great. Plain and simple. I mean, props to both teams. Props to New England. They limited Gronk in the most of the time in the first half. In the second half, he got a couple throws and he scored that touchdown. Or he scored a touchdown right before the half, I think. And there's so much to talk about. So much in that game that you could tie back and say, this went wrong here, this went wrong there. But overall, I mean, both teams played almost, I think, one of the best games of their careers. Both teams, I think. Yeah, so there's gonna be another video about this because there's so much to talk about. We'll probably talk about the play calling or something like that. So, and then of course I have to talk about the honors, the NFL honors, and I got to talk about Anderson Silva coming back. So there's still a lot to talk about. So I'll catch you guys later. Bye.